Today's video, we're going to talk about how to stack your credit cards and how to actually hack your credit cards, okay? And so what I mean by that, just about every credit card I'm going to talk about today, you can actually be able to get with a soft pull, okay? Now, that being said, let's talk about it. Let's start with the bad credit. So if you have bad credit, these are the credit cards you really should focus on, all right? The first one is Opportune. Now, as you can see here with the Opportune credit card, it goes from $300 up to $6,000, all right? And as you can see here, it says get pre-qualified in minutes without affecting your credit score. Now, with Opportune, you do not have to have a social security number to get this card, all right? And the minimum income they have for their credit cards alone is $500, okay? Now, and that's unverified income. That's the reason I'm introducing you all to these here cards. Now, the next one is Avant. Now, Avant, they actually offer a credit card as well. And with this here credit card, you can do a pre-approval. All right, so this is how you do it. You go to Avant.com, you go over here, and it will allow you to do a pre-approval, okay, without affecting your personal credit, okay? Now, this here credit card, it starts at $300 as well and goes up. But at the same time, like I said, if you have bad credit and you're looking for unsecured credit cards, this is where you want to start, all right? Then you have credit.ai, all right? If you have a checking account, you have regular deposits going into your checking account, this may be one of the best cards for you. Now with credit.ai, again, no hard pull on the credit. They give you a $1,500 credit line. Usually it's an instant credit line you should be able to use. And it reports to Experian as well as Equifax, all right? Also, just keep in mind, guys, that these credit cards I'm showing you, they may not be across all 50 states. So again, that's the reason, like you can do a pre-qualify and it'll tell you. Now, some other things that I would definitely tell you to do is make sure that you have an active bank account. They usually want to see active bank account, a real email, telephone, okay? They usually would do unverified income, okay? But you do have to have an active bank account. So they want to see if there's any activity going on. So they're trying to minimize their fraud. So that's the reason they do this. Now, you have the OppFi card. Again, OppFi card if you're FI loans, all right? They have the OppFi card as well. Now, the limit on this starts at $1,000, okay? And you can qualify for this here card without a social security number, okay? No income verified. But again, you have to have active bank account, all right? Now, here's another thing, like with OppFi, you may need minimum income, usually is about $1,100-$1,200, okay, on the credit card. But it's unverified income because they just want to see that you actually have a bank account and everything like that, all right? Next credit card, soft pull as well, pre-qual, is Credit One, okay? Now, we all know with Credit One, they charge a startup fee anywhere from $75 to $95, okay? However, again, credit limits starting at $300. At the same time, this is an unsecured card. I'm focusing on all unsecured cards that are soft pull that's best for your credit, okay? And these are the top credit cards you want to actually go for when you have bad credit, all right? So these are your top credit cards. Now, let's switch it up and we're going to talk about student credit cards. Now, in terms of student credit cards, we're not going to dive too far into it, but some of your top student credit cards is like from Patelco. Now, Patelco, they offer a student credit card that goes up to $5,000, okay? And you can pre-qual for them. They do offer pre-qual. They usually pull Experian FICO 8. Now, here's the interesting thing about Patelco. usually that one hard inquiry, you can use it for multiple products. So again, it just depends on your credit score. But if you're a student, and I'll tell you another secret to this. I know you wonder about the student credit cards and stuff like that. One of the things about it with like some of these student credit cards, they don't actually check to see if you're an actual student, okay? Now, some of them like Chase, they may say, you know, you need to put your alumni email, like your college email on the application or whatever. But a lot of times they won't even check to see if you're a student. So you may be able to get this here credit card even without being a student, all right? But it is Experian FICO 8, all right? But it is a pre-qualified, so that way you don't get that hard inquiry, right? You don't want to waste a hard inquiry. Now, the next one is Signature Federal Credit Union. Now again, with Signature Federal Credit Union, soft pull, Experian, you can join through the Consumer Credit Council, excuse me. Yes, sorry about that, guys. Consumer Credit Council. I've been working all day, so you have to excuse me. But it is a student credit card that you can actually apply for. With Capital One, they do offer pre-qualification. They do have the student credit cards and things of that nature. Okay, but you can pre-qualify to see if you're actually approved for one of their credit cards, okay? And so we know like the Quicksilver, some of these credit cards, because they are focused on bad credit, that do the pre-approval. Now here's the interesting thing about Capital One. If you've had a Capital One credit card in the past and it was a charge-off, they will still give you another Capital One. They will give you a second chance, okay? That's one of the things I do like about Capital One. Now, they do pull from all three credit bureaus, but at the same time, when you're building yourself up and you're rebuilding your credit and stuff like that, you definitely want to take a look at these here cards. As a matter of fact, when they offer you that, like building credit, and then you put all of your information in and stuff like that, you'll know exactly what you're pre-approved for. Now, also Discover. Discover has some great student credit cards as well that you can actually do with a pre-qualify. As you can see here, if you're pre-qualified for a credit card offer without it impacting your credit. So Discover is another one of those. Now with Discover, they usually Equifax FICO 8, but again on the pre-qualification, so that you won't waste that inquiry, this is one of the ones you want to go for. All right, now let's change up the game again. We're going to change up the game now. This is RBFCU. This is Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union. And what I mean by changing up the game is that they are a credit union that uses Vantage, okay? They use a Vantage for scoring, all right? So that's the reason that you're changing up. So we went from unsecured bad credit cards to student credit cards. Now we're going to the Vantage cards. So we're building up here. The reason is because if you start stacking up your credit file like this, and you have a variety of cards, then what ends up happening as you start to manage those cards and utilize those cards, you'll start to build yourself up to where you're getting higher limits because you're taking advantage of the stacking series, especially if you're rebuilding or you're just rebuilding. Now, one of the key things that I like about Vantage scoring institutions is because you can add authorized users, all right? They count authorized users. You can add utility bills. You can add, you can add subscriptions. You can add rental payments, okay? So that's the reason you're building yourself up to get to this level to where you're starting to focus on trying to get higher limit credit cards. So that's the reason that we're going in this here flow, all right? Now, here's another one of those Vantage scoring is Veridian Credit Union. Vantage scoring 3, TransUnion 3 that they may pull for your credit card. Okay. Now, for those of you that, if you think I'm doing a good job, would you leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up? Hey, if you want to, I appreciate it if you share the video, because I'm trying to take out all the guesswork for you guys so you'll know exactly what to do and where to go when you want to do your stacking and hacking. So this is actually how you, from step by step, of how to properly do it. Now, like I said, with Veridian Credit Union, it goes from, it's a TransUnion Vantage score. Now, we always talk about where to get your Vantage scoring from. You can go through Chase, you can go through American Express, you can go through Credit Karma, you can even go through Capital One. They will give you a Vantage scoring, okay? Now, if you're looking for real scoring, like your real FICO scoring, the free ones that you have to sign up for is with Discover as well as with Citibank for the real FICO score, or click the link in the description and get access to your FICO 8, your FICO 9, your mortgage scores, which is 5, 4, 3, and 2, which some credit unions actually use those, like a DC Credit Union, okay? It's a mortgage scoring. So Digital Credit Union, Digital DCU Credit Union, Digital Credit Union, they actually use a mortgage score, mortgage 5 score, okay? So that's the reason I'm helping you understand the difference and why you may want to look at your real credit file to be able to get access to more funding. Now, how do you join here? Well, the way that you join here through Veridian is through the Habitat of Humanities. You know, the housing program that started by Jimmy Carter? Then this is how you actually would join now, okay? Then you have Baxter Credit Union, another Vantage 3 TransUnion scoring system, all right? And now, the way that you can either be an employee, you can be a community charter. These are the community charters that they cater to. You can join through a family or a friend or somebody like that. Also, this program here, this is the easiest program to join. It's the Life Money U program. You pay $5 to join, and as a matter of fact, they usually will waive that $5. But once you join, now you're in BCU, Baxter Credit Union, okay? And like I said, it is a TransUnion FICO 9, all right? That's very important. Now, let's go up a notch. Now we finna really hop into this. Now, once you done got your bad credit cards, then you got your student credit cards, then you got your Vantage credit cards. Now you wanna focus on your FICO 9 credit cards, okay? So now, that being said, with your FICO 9 credit cards, again, with your FICO 9 credit cards, you can also help build up the scoring through authorized users. You can build up the scoring through rental payments, through utility payments, as well as subscriptions, all right? So that's the reason that this level of building, you should have plenty of cards, managing those cards that'll keep on thickening up that file. So whether you want to try to position yourself to get into real estate investing or open up any other kind of business and qualifying, you won't have that thin credit file to worry about, all right? That being said, like I said, with Patel, they're usually going to pull, your Patel usually pulls your Experian FICO 9. Okay, now there's no hard pull, and it's through WebBank, but it's no hard pull. So you can actually pre-qualify for this here card. They have the 1 and they have the 2. One credit card, you can see here, there's the Patel 1, it goes from 300 to 5,000. Then at Patel 1 Rise, okay, it goes from 500 up to 3,500. Then they also have a Patel 2. Now with the Patel 2 credit card, again, soft inquiry, this goes anywhere from 300 all the way up to $10,000. Next credit card I want to add is the Tomo card, okay? As you can see here, it says no credit needed up to $10,000, okay? Now, granted, it is a charge card. However, it does report, all right? And also in terms of, as you can see, what bills you can add to it to report to your credit. And it reports to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Excuse me, maybe I need some water. I've been talking a lot today. Now, that being said, we're jumping back over, still looking at the FICO 9, you're gonna look at Alliant. Now with Alliant Credit Union, it's usually Experian FICO 9 as well, okay? So that's the good thing about it. It is a FICO 9. They switched from FICO 8 to FICO 9, Alliant Credit Union. Now you have another one, and that is PenFed. And what's awesome about PenFed is now you can actually do a pre-qualify. You can actually do a pre-qualify. All right, now here's the interesting thing about it. When you pre-qualify with PenFed, all right, once you accept the credit card, you do have to go ahead and pay $5 to open up a savings account to be with them. So just keep that in mind. You will have to pay the $5 to join them in a savings account. But the good thing about it with PenFed, they're very flexible, especially if you are an individual that's just coming out of bankruptcy, say that you've been out of bankruptcy for at least 6 to 9 months. They're very flexible in terms of working with you to get you approved, okay? So just keep that in mind. PenFed is one of those bankruptcy-friendly credit unions, all right? Now, the next one is GM. GM is a FICO 9 TransUnion, okay? And you can pre-qualify for this card as well. Just like, now, the Apple credit card is a FICO 9, and I apologize, I left them off of the thing, but you can apply for the Apple credit card, TransUnion FICO 9, because it's through Goldman Sachs. They were in talks of leaving Goldman Sachs and going over to American Express. However, that did not go through, so they're still with Goldman Sachs as we speak. Now, that being said, you have the Goldman Sachs GM Rewards MasterCard as well, that you can do a pre-approval on it also, all right? So you can do 2 credit cards with them, all right, on the pre-approval. As a matter of fact, with the TransUnion hack that I talk about in another one of my videos. Let's talk about Wells Fargo. Now, Wells Fargo, they offer a pre-approval as well, okay? So again, all the credit cards I'm talking about, you should be able to do a pre-qualify before you actually take those cards. So that's the reason that I'm sharing these cards with you. So Wells Fargo has a pre-approval, and they have, I'm gonna tell you this now, Wells Fargo has some awesome credit cards, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's look at this Reflect card, the Wells Fargo. It's 0% interest for 21 months. That means that you're basically paying dollar for dollar for the first 21 months on balance transfers and purchases. So say that they give you $15,000, and say that you were trying to use some of the card for down payment. Say that you looking to buy a new car or something for your business or whatever. You can say that you use a $5,000 for the down payment. Because reason I say that, because some car lots will allow you to use a credit card for your down payment. Some car lots will actually let you pay the whole thing with a credit card if your credit card will allow it, okay? So that's the reason that I'm telling you this. So the good thing about it, like I said, for 21 months, that's almost 2 years on purchases and balance transfers, okay? That's the reason that I like Wells Fargo. I've been with them a long time, and they're very easy, especially on the business side. If you're looking to start a business or something like that, if you're a new business, less than 2 years old, All right, this is their situation. All right, they'll loan you up to $5,000. Wells Fargo Small Business Advantage, because they have two, so you have to be very careful. So they have the Wells Fargo Business Line of Credit. Okay, that goes from $10,000 up to $50,000. All right. However, this here you have to have more time in business, at least over 2 years. Okay. Now, here's the thing about it. This is the business line of credit you want to go for with Wells Fargo. It's the Small Business Advantage line. Because if you've been in business less than 2 years, and like I said, it goes from $5,000 up to $50,000 revolving line of credit, and it says here you have to have at least a 680 credit score. Now here's a key that some people may not even know. If you start your business, okay, and you may not have the best credit, all right, say that you don't meet that 680 credit score. However, you may have a spouse, a child or a sibling, child over 18 or a sibling over the age of 18. If they have established credit, you can add them on to your company through the Secretary of State, and then they can apply for business credit cards and business lines of credit for you as well. Okay, so that's the reason that they're important. And again, with Wells Fargo, it is usually Experian FICO 9. Now that Reflect card, like I said, I applied for it. When I applied for it, it was Equifax FICO 9, but it isn't a FICO 9 scoring. Next one is US Bank. US Bank, they offer pre-qualifications as well with their credit cards as also. Now, I'll show you some of the best credit cards that you want to look at. Like this cash, as you can see here, it's 15 months on balance transfers and purchases. So again, whenever you're applying for like credit cards and stuff, you want to make sure you're trying to find credit cards that offer no interest for a long period of time, at least over a year. And so, like I said, with this here cash rewards card, they actually offer 15 months. Like say you want low intro rates, right? So these are all of your low intro rates. Like with this here card, as you can see here, it's 12 billing, right? Which is okay, but you want to stay look for the 15-month billing with 0 interest in purchases. Then they have this here card here. This here card is 18 months. The Platinum card is 18 months on purchases and balance transfer. Those are the type of cards you actually want to look at. Those are the type of cards you want to go after. I'm not too concerned about like cash back and travel and stuff like that. I'm always looking for credit cards that I know that's going to actually help keep more money in my pocket. These keep more money in your pocket than a cash back credit card because you're not paying any interest. So that's the reason I tell you guys to go after these type of credit cards. Now, again, they do have the credit builder cards as well. They offer the secured cards and stuff like that. But if you're following my strategy that I showed you guys, when you start from the bad credit cards up to the student credit cards, up to the Vantage score credit card, then the FICO 9 credit card, then you shouldn't be worried about a secured credit card. You shouldn't be worried about secured credit card. The only credit cards you should be focusing on is these credit cards that don't charge you any interest for a long period of time. So that's what you should be worried about. Now, another one, if you can get in with them, is Navy Federal. Navy Federal, they do offer a pre-qualification for their cards and stuff. You can do it on the app or you can do it online like I'm showing you here. Now the thing about it is being able to join, because again, if you're not military or you don't have a family or friend that's already to where they're actually able to give you their access number to join. Now I'm gonna tell you this, there are still people out in the market that are selling access numbers, okay? Now the thing about it, I would tell you, do not invest in those access numbers. The reason is because when Say that you end up getting $50,000 from Navy Federal, but you invested in one of those access numbers. Because that access number was not authorized through somebody else and you bought it, now you can not only get your account shut down, but you can get caught up for fraud as well. Okay? So you don't want to do that. You don't want to just buy an access number. Now, here's a secret. If you share a address with somebody that's a member of Navy Federal, if you share an address with them, they will allow you to join that way. So if you don't have any family member that's military related, or you don't have a family member that's already a part of them, but you do have a roommate that's Navy Federal and you're sharing an address, that's one way that they would definitely allow you to become a member, okay? Now, on the credit cards, here's the thing about Navy Federal, and people have even admitted it. You can have a 550, 580 credit score, and they will give you a $25,000 credit card, right? Now, that all depends on the relationship and what's going on. Now, for you to have a 550, 580 credit score, that means that you have a good internal score. Now, in terms of the internal score, it goes from 100 up to 450 points, all right? Now, how do you build up the internal score? Because this is very important. You can have direct deposit. You can open up a flagship checking account. You can open up a savings account. You can open up a money market account, a CD. Now, also, if you have bad credit, what you want to do once you join, you want to do the N rewards, okay? With the N rewards credit card, it's $200 down, and after 6 months, a good on-time payment, then that converts over to $2,000. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. A lot of people, they do the 200, and after 8-9 months, they say, well, it hasn't changed over yet. The thing about it, you have to go inside the app on your phone to update your information to see the change. So that's the reason, like, people are like, well, I've been with them for 6 months, 9 months, and nothing has happened. Now, another thing is, do you have another relationship with any other credit union? They like to see that. Navy Federal likes to see you having another relationship. If you have other accounts that are outstanding, if you can get those accounts paid down, that would also help you as well, okay? Now, another thing is the pledge loans. The reason that I'm telling you this, because this is very important, because people assume they need 3, 4, 5 pledge loans and stuff like that to help them when that doesn't help you. As a matter of fact, you having multiple pledge loans will still not guarantee you any loans from Navy Federal. The internal score is only for credit cards. So you use the pledge loan to help build up the internal score for the credit cards. It doesn't help with your personal loans, all right? And I think a lot of people are not aware of that. And there's one other thing that I'm gonna say here. A lot of people, they go after that black card, that flagship card, okay? Now here's the thing about it, so that you understand. It's the black card. It goes up to $80,000, okay? Now, here's the thing about it. It goes up to $80,000. However, the thing about it with Navy Federal, the maximum they're going to give you is up to $80,000, period. So you can have like 50 on this here card, or 50 on this card, and another 30 on this here card, and transfer them over to do a product exchange and do it like that. However, once you max out at that 80, then they're not going to give you over that, okay? So that you understand. You see people that say outrageous numbers about what Navy Federal will do, but I'm telling you now, if you're expecting to get this here card, focusing on this here card, it's better to just spread it out on these here cards, okay? Since all these cards, they go up to 50,000, it's better to do that instead of just focusing on this just one card. All right. Now, people have been getting the flagship card because they assume that it's a business card. They don't offer this as a business card. Okay. They do not offer this flagship card as a business card. All right. Another thing about Navy Federal, since I'm talking about it in terms of like when you open up your business account, it's a separate application. Okay. So they're going to do a hard pull on your Experian FICO 9 for the business side. Plus, they're going to look at your internal score as well. All right. So that's the reason that a lot of people may be confused about Navy Federal and what it is that they can do and can't do. But I'm telling you, I would not just focus on this here one card. All right. It doesn't give you the benefits that many people, and it's unfortunate because Navy Federal, they do have a credit card, the Platinum card. But here's the problem with that Platinum card. It only goes up to 12 months of no interest on balance transfers and purchases. So that's the only thing that I don't too much recommend it, because it only goes up to that amount of time. All right. That being said, like I said, on the TransUnion FICO 9s for the credit cards. Okay. On the business credit cards, it's Experian FICO 9. All right. Now that you know that, this is American Express. American Express, they offer a pre-qualification as well. Okay. And you can sign up with this without actually logging in. Like I said, American Express, they will give you your Vantage 3 TransUnion score. However, American Express, they pull your Experian TransUnion and Experian score, your FICO 8 scores. Okay, they pull a FICO 8 score. So however, adding to that, I should say, let me clear up that. Adding to that, once you actually accept one of their personal credit cards, then you can apply for their other credit cards without getting a hard inquiry. Okay, so that's the reason I tell you guys to make sure that you do your pre-qualification if you don't already have a relationship with American Express. Okay, so expect for them to pull Experian TransUnion the first go around, and then once that, then they'll start looking at everything else internally. Now, what credit card would probably be the easiest with American Express? This is one of their best cards, and a lot of people, they focus on points. And I keep telling people, don't focus on points, especially with American Express, unless you like traveling and hotels and stuff. But if you're trying to keep more money in your pocket, then this is your American Express everyday card. Now, why is this card so important? Because as you can see here, it's 0% on purchases and balance transfers for 15 months. That's the thing about it. I'm continuing to tell you guys, always look for cards that are going to give you no interest on balance transfers and purchases. So that's the reason. Now, in reference to American Express, can you get it with less than a 680 credit score? I have seen many people with a 620 credit score get approved with American Express. However, I would say if I'm going to go for a card, this would probably be one of my first cards. You have this here American Express everyday card, Blue Cash Everyday. So this is your Blue Cash preferred. But again, it's 12 months. It's 12 months of 0 interest on purchases and transfers. All right. Now, trust me, I get it. I get it. You know, people want to be able to flex. You know, and so that's the reason they would try to look at a platinum card. Okay, they look at a platinum or a gold card. They like the metal cards and stuff. Hey, I get it. You know, you work hard on building up your credit and stuff. You want to be able to travel. You want to be able to have something that you know that, hey, I put in the work. You know, I got it. But your easiest credit cards is your American Express Blue Cash Everyday, and let's go to the travel cards. And this here Gold Delta. Okay, so these would be your easiest credit cards. All right. Now, If you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. But I'm telling you, if you follow this guide step by step, you're not only going to do your stacking, but you're going to actually do your hacking, and you won't end up with a whole lot of inquiries on your credit file. All right? So if you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.